Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? Good, 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 good. Well, first of all, thank you so much for braving the torrential rains that just went down and coming over here to hear a little bit about dressing for success. As most of you may know, we have our really big career fair week. Well, actually, we have a career fair on Thursday, and then we have 2 career fairs next week. So hopefully you're here to get some great tips on how you can dress for the part and get the job or the internship of your dreams. So first off, my name is Bianca Townsend, and I work for the Central Career Services office here in the Student Union. I've been with Oklahoma State for 4 years, but prior to working here, I was actually a merchandising manager at Banana Republic. So fashion is just very near and dear to me, so I was really honored when they came to me and said, hey, can you talk to the students about dressing for success? So hopefully I can provide you with some points that you find valuable and that you can take with you going into next week and beyond. So first things first, what does it mean to dress for success? Now, you guys cannot just stare at me all night and be like humdrum. Like, I'm going to be interactive. I'm going to ask you questions. So anybody, what does dressing for success mean to you?
Dressing for the job you want.
Yes. Anyone else? That's it? What did you say?
That's according to the job.
Absolutely. Yes.
Make sure that your dress is
Professional, well kept, neat, all of those things. Absolutely. So there's a few things that you should just already know off the bat when it comes to dressing for success. First things first is that it only takes 7 seconds to make your first impression with somebody. And I know that seems like, I mean, really, it's just almost as long as it takes you to blink or have a thought. But that's how quickly somebody can look at you and say, you know, oh, I would want them to work for me. Oh, I want to meet them. Oh, I want to hear what they have to say about their major, what they're doing, what their career goals are, etc. It only takes 7 seconds for somebody to sum all of that up about you and decide if they want to get to know you better or if they're going to dismiss you after you walk away. Dress for the job you want, not the job that you have. I know a lot of you right now, you don't have jobs, but you know, this is an age-old saying. You always go above and beyond because you're looking to take the next step. Don't just do the bare minimum. Go above and beyond. Stand out amongst your peers. So that means, you know, kicking things up a notch. Fresh breath and being well-groomed is a must. And this isn't not just talking about, you know, having gum, Tic Tacs, whatever, but this is fingernails. This is, you know, making sure that your makeup isn't too much, or that you don't have just little things that could potentially throw an employer off when they're speaking to you. So always, before you're going into an interview or even before you go into the career fair, do a bathroom check. Run into the restroom, make sure you don't have lipstick on your teeth or like you don't have something in your nose or whatever the case may be. Avoid too short, too tight, or too low. Those are always things that are going to, even if you're like the most intelligent person in the world and you have all these amazing things to say, if you have cleavage out or if your shirt is too short or if like your pants are too tight, gentlemen, like they're not going to hear what you're saying. They're going to be looking at you like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe she has that on, or I can't believe he didn't go to a tailor and get the right fit for his pants and his blazer. That's what they'll be judging you on. And I mean, it's kind of sad, but it just is what it is, and we have to acculturate. These are things that we must know and we have to do in order to be respected and heard when we're talking about what we want to do and what we can bring to the organization. And then, you know, most importantly, smile. You know, a smile can go miles and miles for you when it comes to connecting with a recruiter, when you're talking about who you are, what you're doing, and where you plan on going from a career perspective. So make sure you always have a smile on your face and you look pleasant when you're heading into the career fair or an interview. So image is everything, or at least most of it. How you dress for the career fair or an interview can be the difference between getting a call back or having your resume put into the no pile. And even as I just said a few moments earlier, sometimes it is kind of hard to believe that there's that much importance placed on how we look, but this is the society that we live in. And when it comes to first impressions and being considered to be a representative of someone's organization, it's all that you have before you actually can open your mouth and sell yourself. So you have to sell yourself from head to toe as far as your presentation before you let them know, hey, I'm a smart young lady or I'm a smart young man and I can bring so much more to your organization. So when I was thinking about what I wanted to talk to you guys about this evening, I was thinking, they already know that they should wear a dark colored suit and they need to be well groomed and that their pants should fit and they should shine their shoes and everything needs to be ironed, but maybe you don't know that. And so this is kind of a rundown of how you need to look going into a professional setting. Now, I know some of you are maybe looking at me like, well, look at what you have on. You're a little jazzy to be talking to us about dressing professionally. But I did that on purpose because there is a right way to dress when you're looking to get a job, and then there's a way to dress once you have the job and you've gotten a feel for what the culture is and what's kind of socially acceptable from a wardrobe perspective in that particular environment. So I know sometimes I can get a little jazzy at OSU. They don't mind the jazzy shirt or sometimes the jazzy shoes because, it's welcomed. But if you're maybe in a very kind of corporate setting or it's much more conservative, I definitely wouldn't recommend that you have anything that I have on except for maybe the skirt. So let's talk about how you should dress going into the career fair and going into your first, second, or third interview. For gentlemen, you always need to be clean shaven, and if you have a beard, I would sometimes recommend that you shave it. I know you're like, why do I have to do that? But it's just for the initial phase of interviewing and getting your foot in the door. You can grow it back once you get the job, but going into things, you just need to look clean cut. You don't want anything that's on your face that's distracting. Also, a two-piece suit in navy, black, or gray is always the best choice. It needs to be well fit. If it's too baggy or too tight, it doesn't look good. And you need to be open to going to a tailor. And if you're not familiar with that process, ask your mom. Your mom will be shocked if you go to her and say, hey mom, I have a fair coming up, can you take me to a tailor or something to get my suit fitted? She'll fall over herself. So make sure that your pants are falling correctly on your shoes, make sure that the blazer fits you well, all of those things, because it really contributes to your overall look. A long sleeve shirt, even in the summertime. Thank goodness it's September. Well, it's not really starting to cool down. It's going to be probably hot next week. But still, you need to wear a long sleeve shirt, button-up shirt that's crisp, that's fitted, that isn't dirty, that really kind of polishes off the look. Empty your pockets. Don't have a lot of stuff in your pockets bulking up your overall look. Get that stuff cleaned out. If need be, just keep the few extra things that you need in your leather portfolio or the little bag that we provide you with once you're going into the career fair. A conservative tie. Now, I deal on the employer relations side here at OSU, so I talk to companies all the time about what they look at when they're considering you for their open job opportunities. And they know that OSU, that we bleed orange here, so they don't mind an orange tie, but just try not to go too far beyond that. And I really would recommend if it was a mix of a orange and black stripe, but always try to keep the tie pretty conservative to where it's just complementing the rest of your look, not overpowering it. And then also, your belt should always match your shoes. I know sometimes people don't do that, but when you're going into the career fair or an interview, just try to keep it simple. And then leather shoes in black or a cognac brown tan color are the best options when matching something to your suiting. It's just an overall clean look, and it brings everything together. And make sure that you polish your shoes prior to wearing them. There's nothing, in my opinion, that just kind of throws everything off more than like a pair of dusty looking, you know, unkept pair of shoes and you have on this nice suit. So make sure that they're polished, they're ready to go, and that your overall look is complete. And then no earrings. I know some guys wear earrings these days, but don't wear them to the fair and don't wear them to your interview. It's just not appropriate. And then, like I said earlier, clean, trim fingernails, haircut, mustache and beard on point, all of those things need to be in place. Now, ladies, I would recommend, you know, you can do things like a skirt with a cardigan set or a skirt and a blazer, but always make sure that your skirt is the appropriate length, which I would recommend is right above your knees, but sometimes we have midi skirt these days, which fall like right below your knee, and that's an acceptable option as well to wear to the career fair or to an interview. And then also make sure that your blouses, your shirts, your blazer, that it's not too tight. And you know when it's too tight, and that's when the buttons are pulling, or like you can see every ripple and curve of your upper torso. Like that is not how your shirt is supposed to fit, especially if you're going into an interview or if you're going to the career fair or just in general. Like that's not how your clothing is supposed to fit. And I understand that sometimes it's like, oh, you want to stick to a certain size. Like, you know, we live in that society where we're hung up on sizes, but don't do that to yourself. Just go up an extra size and have it look nice and polished on you, and it'll just be an overall better look. Nice leather shoes that are not too high. Like this high. Like this is too high to be walking around Gallagher-Iba. You will hurt yourself. I would recommend a heel that's 3 inches or less because it's just easier for you to walk around. It's, you know, it's a more professional look, and, you know, I think it's better, especially when you're on the job hunt. I would even recommend a nice like kitten heel or even a nice flat you can do. Some people are not used to walking in heels. Like ladies, maybe you're not used to walking in heels, and I would not recommend that your first go at walking in heels be at the career fair because you can tell. It's very apparent between, you know, girls who are used to walking in heels and girls who have never walked in heels before. So don't try that out for the first time at the career fair. I would definitely recommend just trying to walk around a little bit in the heels that you plan on wearing to the career fair to make sure that you feel comfortable in them and to make sure that they fit well and to make sure that, you know, they don't hurt your feet. I don't want to say completely avoid perfume, but don't overdo it because we've heard from multiple employers before, like, oh, we dealt with some students where their perfume was just so overpowering, or like she just had on way too much makeup, or, you know, the jewelry was just too much. In the situation where you're at the fair or you're interviewing, less is more. So all they really have to focus on is all of the wonderful words that are coming out of your mouth. Also, clean and trim fingernails as well, and then also avoid really flamboyant colors. Do something natural, like maybe a pink or a nude, because you don't want loud fingernails that can distract, especially if you're an individual who uses your hands a lot. That can be really distracting. So I would say avoid loud colors altogether during the process. I would also say either do one or the other. If you're not going to have your fingernails painted, just make sure your nails are clean and manicured. If you are going to have them, make sure it's not time for a redo manicure. I mean, you know, some people aren't very particular about it, but I notice that, like, if a girl's fingernails are chipped or they need to be redone, that's something that stands out. So make sure that all of that stuff is in place, ready to go prior to the fair and prior to your interviews. And then also, if possible, you know, we live in an age where, you know, we get tattoos in college. I have them. I know other people have them. And it's not something you should necessarily be ashamed of, but that's not something that you need to be showing off going into an interview. They don't care about that, and it's not something that they need to know about you. So if you have them in a place where they can be visible, you should cover them up. And also, like I said, jewelry minimal, perfume minimal, all of the things that maybe you love to wear that you feel make you you, just set it aside for a few weeks until like you get the offer or until you kind of figure out, okay, I got the offer, what is the work culture like, what is acceptable, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable going into this new work environment. Does anybody have any questions? Yes. I think it is. As long as it's not big and flashy, I think, you know, a leather band is very kind of neutral and nice. You see some watches that are like gold with diamonds around the outlay of it, and they're super flashy. I definitely wouldn't recommend something like that during an interview, but something minimal that, you know, kind of just helps you keep track of time and how long you're speaking and, you know, just so you can have a timeline. I think that's totally appropriate. Yeah.
What about wearing a dress?
You said, what about wearing a dress? I think dresses are fine, but I also think that you should wear a blazer over the dress or like a nice cardigan. You need to pull the complete look together. I don't think it's appropriate for your arms to be out for the fair or for an interview. So yes, I think a dress is fine, but make sure it fits appropriately, that it's not too short, and that you have either a blazer to go over it or a cardigan or some type of like, you know, formal looking dressy jacket. Anyone else? Yeah. I think you should wear it back, like tied back maybe in a bun or something like a chignon or something like that where it's off of your face and it's not distracting. Because you have beautiful hair, but for an interview, I would suggest you put it back. I'm sorry? What? Peep toes. Oh, yeah, I think they're okay as long as you have a pedicure. Like, make sure that your toes are done and look nice, and make sure that the shoes fit, because there's nothing more unattractive than you having on the peep toe and your toes are like hanging over the front of it. So make sure that the shoe fits and that your toes are painted and they look nice and that it's not too high. But overall, I don't think that's a bad thing because it is still summer pretty much. It's hot outside. Anyone else? Nope. Okay. So young men should remember too, this is one thing that I always see when I am out in the front, either checking in students or handing you bags or whatever the case may be. And it's make sure that you cut this little, it's like it forms a little X on the back of your blazer, and it's where the opening is, the flap is of your blazer. Make sure you cut that string. That's there for when you first wear it, but it shouldn't remain on there once you're wearing it. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't cut anything. Don't cut anything. Ask somebody. But it's just a fine piece of thread that's in place to kind of help that lay straight. But once you have the jacket on and you're going to the fair, make sure you clip that and take it off. Also, if your slacks are dragging or the break of your slacks at the bottom is excessive, go to the tailor and get your pants hemmed. Like, that is so sloppy looking. And it only is about $5 to $10 to take your pants to the tailor and get a hem put in them so that they fit you appropriately. And young ladies, also remember to cut that string X in the back of your skirts or your dresses. I see that on you guys too. So make sure that once you put on your new dress or your new skirt, to cut that little string in the back so you can walk more easily instead of feeling like you're so constricted. And then also pay attention to how your clothes are fitting you. If you walk and you're having to do this all the time, it's too short, it's too tight. And like I said earlier, don't get hung up on the sizes. Just get what fits you. So like I said, if it's bunching right here, or if you're constantly having to pull your skirt down, you need to go up a size. And then also, this is one thing that I notice on women my age, but on the heel of your shoe, you have like the rubberized part that's at the end of your heel so that when you're walking, you do not slip or lose your grip. But a lot of times people let that run down so low to the point where there's just the nail at the bottom of your heel. And if it gets to that point, you need to take your shoes to the cobbler, which you may not be familiar with the term cobbler, but it's a gentleman who will repair your shoes. And so you just take those shoes to him and let him know, hey, can you put a new rubber end on my heel? And it's less than $10. And I promise you, it'll help you walk better. And it's just safer because when you're walking on that nail, you can slip easily on slick surfaces. So just make sure that your overall look is polished and put together. Did I see somebody raise their hand? No? Any questions? No? So just to kind of go over what we've covered in these past kind of like 15 minutes, do not wear clothing that is ripped, torn, too tight, too loose, too short, that's wrinkled, not clean, or is revealing too much. And sometimes I feel like this is just stuff that people should just already know, but it never fails that I see it at the career fair every single year. So, and if there's any doubt, there's no doubt at all. If you try on your outfit and you think to yourself, I wonder if this is too low, then it's probably too low. If you try on your dress or your skirt and you feel like, oh, I wonder if this is too tight, what? It's too tight. It's probably too tight. And gentlemen, if it looks too baggy or too loose or too wrinkled and you're questioning yourself when you're looking in the mirror, chances are it's too loose, too baggy, and it doesn't fit you appropriately. And like I said, go to the tailor or buy a size down. And I know for guys, this is kind of new to you. You're not really into the fitted clothing so much, and you like, being free and not feeling constricted, but this is the one instance where you really need to focus on fit and make sure that your overall look is tailored. So dressing appropriately for the career fair and for your interview really is a sign of maturity to employers and to us as individuals that are kind of trying to say to these companies, hey, hire our students. They're well prepared, they know how to work hard, and they need to be at your companies. So when you really put forth that effort to, dress for success, it's not only seen by the companies, but it's also seen by us. And we just want you to know how proud it makes us to see you so dressed up and just from head to toe looking sharp. It really is a great thing to see. It also it's an excellent impression that you're giving, like I said, not only us, but the companies as well, because it shows us that you're taking this process seriously. I know it's kind of easy in college to sometimes, not necessarily forget about while you're here, but these are the best years of your life, and sometimes you do forget, I am here to get a job post-graduation. So never forget that it is a process, and it's about getting in front of people, presenting yourself as the complete package, and not just being a person whose hand they shake and talk to for a moment, but somebody that they remember and call and say, hey, come in for an interview, so that they hopefully hire you for the job. So let's talk a little bit about what's out of style for guys and for girls. The top portion, and this is just kind of some research that I did and also just some personal things that I don't like that I see sometimes, but square toe shoes, and I'm sorry if any of you have them on, but those are just, you need to update your shoe a little bit. It's bottom heavy, and it kind of weighs down your overall look, especially when you have on a suit. So definitely consider transitioning to a narrower shoe that just gives your overall suiting look it's just sleeker. Jeans that you've been walking on. And these are the jeans that were like, they come down under the heels of your shoe, and they're ripping like in the middle because you've been walking all over them. And then really wide ties. I know some people still wear them, but majority of the time you're going to see like the skinnier tie that's more appealing. And then billowy dress shirts, which is just something that's just too big. please make sure that when you're trying on your shirts, and especially your button-down fitted shirts, that they fit you. And there's a difference between fitting well and being too tight. And so that's something that when you're shopping for this particular item, ask a gentleman that's in the store and say, hey, can you come look at this? Is this too tight? Have him measure your neck and your arm to make sure that you're trying on the correct size. And then also Steve Madden style shoes. I wouldn't recommend you wearing those to the career fair or at all, but definitely this is something that's kind of transitioned out a bit. For women, heavy makeup. Please avoid putting on too much lipstick, too much blush, too much eyeshadow, too much mascara. It's just, nobody can hear what's coming out of your mouth if you have all of that going on. So please, less is more. Find a very neutral tone for your lipstick. Use a little bit of blush. And if you're not aware of if you're wearing too much, ask somebody or go to a makeup counter and just say, hey, I'm getting ready to start my job search. I want a very professional, polished look as far as my makeup is concerned. Can you help me? And there's individuals who can help you find a balanced look that complements your features. Chunky heels. Now there's definitely a difference between a high heel and a chunky heel. And to me, chunky is like the extra platform beneath the base of the shoe, along with the very chunky, wide, thick heel. And in those have really kind of transitioned out. It's all about having a very sleek look, having your legs look, you know, slender, and where the overall shape of the shoe complements your body type. Shoulder pads, and then platform heels, like I just kind of mentioned with the chunky heels. Does anyone have any questions? No? So, as I was kind of thinking, okay, I can talk to them about what they need to wear for the career fair and what they need to wear for their interview. But once you get the job, what do they do? And so I kind of wanted to touch on some of the key items that you can implement into your wardrobe to help prepare you for that next phase. And so for gentlemen, there's 10 wardrobe essentials that I kind of, I looked at some different sites like Forbes, Style, and GQ to kind of get a sense of what are some good staples for you to have in your wardrobe going into your professional career. And so they said a pair of khaki pants that are tailored but relaxed. And I know that's like an oxymoron almost. It's like, well, how do you pull that off? But there's really some great options at different stores like H&M or Banana Republic or even The Gap, where you can find a really nice khaki pant that fits you well and can complement, a more business casual look instead of a business professional formal look. Also, a classic pair of sneakers that you don't wear to the gym as well. This is something that's just good to have if you want to have more of a relaxed look, but you don't want to look like I said you're going to the gym or to the basketball court or something along those lines. So that could be something like a Converse, or Nike has some really great options, or Adidas, J. Crew, places like that where you can get a casual sneaker that goes well with your more casual looks. Solid color denim in a dark rinse. This is just something I feel like, especially on casual Fridays, which you will have at work, even though it is a casual Friday, you still will look polished with a nice pair of dark denim. So you can find these anywhere in various fits, but avoid all of the extra, like rinsing, the rinse variations in the jeans, the embellishments. Not that you guys are interested in wearing embellished jeans, but I see it sometimes. So just a nice pair of dark denim pants that you can wear with a blazer or a button up with a tie and some nice shoes, so that you can have a few different looks. A nice silk blend knit sweater. And this is something that you'll see in the next slide when I kind of show you some of the different wardrobe capsules that you can pull together. And it's just a great way to kind of transition your look into the fall. A dark navy blazer, which is something that you can wear with the khakis or with the dark denim. It's something that's extremely versatile, and it's a good piece to invest in prior to you transitioning into a full-time professional work environment. A nice, crisp, white button-up shirt. This is an essential because, like I said, it's something you can wear with your suiting, but it's also something that you can dress down and wear with those nice jeans, with the nice shoes, etc. A nice watch. I actually love gold watches, but when I was looking at this, it was saying that you shouldn't wear a gold watch unless you're over 50. So it says stick to a nice leather band. It's a more polished look, and it doesn't age you as much. And then also a nice gray suit. It's more elegant and versatile, which I can agree with. You can kind of dress it up or down more, and it's not as, maybe stuffy as you would consider the black suit or a navy suit, because those are really your go-tos when it comes to the interview or the, like I said, the career fair. And then the slim dress shoe, which is the opposite of the square-toed chunky shoe that I told you is out of style. And then a nice briefcase. I know we don't carry this, you guys wouldn't carry a standard briefcase, but a nice leather portfolio or a nice leather Kenneth Cole bag or something is a good thing to invest in once you transition into the professional work environment. And so here are just some of the looks that you can pull together as a young man who wants to not, of course, wear a suit to work every day, but you still want to look polished. And there's a lot of great ways where you can just buy, as it said, it's 9 items for 1 week. And it shows you how you can mix and match all of those different looks to kind of take you through the course of the week and beyond. And then on the other end, it shows you just like, a man boot, a blazer, nice button-ups that you can invest in to kind of complete your overall wardrobe as, like I said, you transition into the professional environment. So did you guys have any questions about that, gentlemen? No? Okay. And so ladies, of course, there's 10 wardrobe essentials out there for you as well. First off is a nice plain white fitted tee. And I know that seems so simple, but that's something that you can wear with like a black pencil skirt. It's something that you can wear with some nice dark denim and a cardigan or a blazer with a scarf or a really great necklace. So it really is a very versatile piece that's so simple. Also a comfy pair of ballet flats. Those are never going out of style, and you can really always have a good time sometimes with your ballet flats. You can get them in like a leopard print or a red, especially if you're more conservative with your skirt and your top. You can always have a little fun with your ballet flat, and it's great to just have in your purse or have in your car if you want to take off your heels and be more comfortable. An elegant blazer that fits well. They have some really great options at Banana Republic, at The Gap, at The Loft, and Taylor. This is just a great piece to have, like I said, so you could wear it with a dress, like you mentioned earlier, wear it with a skirt, wear it with your nice pair of dark denim. It's a piece that, goes above and beyond. That's really great to invest in prior to you going into full-time work. Also, a striped shirt. I don't know how much you guys like the nautical theme, but that's something that's never going to go out of style. So a really great vertically striped nautical top goes great with like floral prints. It goes great with metallic skirting and prints. It goes great with denim. It looks great with everything. So you can dress it up or down and really do some versatile things with such a simple piece. Also, a classic black pair of pants. That's essential. And you need to know what is going to fit you best. So there's stores like The Limited that have a ton of different shapes and cuts to complement our different body types. None of us are the same. So sometimes you may have to shop around a bit to find a pair of black pants that fit you the way you want them to fit, but you have to go on that journey and you have to find them because you will wear them time and time again. And they really are just extremely important to completing your overall wardrobe look. And then a classic pair of black pumps. This is essential as well because you can wear them pretty much with anything. And of course, they need to be comfortable and a reasonable heel height. That's a great way, like I said, to transition from day to night. You can wear them with slacks or with a dress or even with your nice pair of dark denim, which you can wear in a skinny, a boot cut, or a flare. Of course, this season, you know, they say skinny is transitioning out and then, you know, flare is what is the rave, but you just wear what works best for you. So if you like skinny jeans or you like boot cut or you like flare, just wear it, but make sure they fit you appropriately. And really the darker denim is much more slimming. So even if you like some of the denim that has like embellishments on it or has like the different rinses, please invest in just one pair of dark denim because that's the pair that you can kind of transition from work to night, wear on those casual Fridays, etc. And then a classic fitted white button-down shirt. All the rest of these things, I feel like, you know, they can pretty much stand the test of time. And as much as this is a very key piece, if it starts to look dingy or dirty, that's something that you need to replace like maybe every 2 to 3 years because you always want that very crisp look when it comes to that white button-down shirt. So here's just 2 wardrobe capsules that kind of stood out to me. The nice work bag, the reasonable heel height, the minimal jewelry, and then even here, like you talked about the dress, these are 3 beautiful dresses at the bottom that look very professional, very clean cut. They fit the model well, and that's definitely a look that you can wear at work once you get the job. So before we head into the latter part of the presentation, I have my beautiful models over here, handsome and beautiful. Models over here, and I'm going to have them come up on stage and kind of just display some of the looks that they have on so you can get a sense of what you can wear at the career fair. Yeah, just walk around. I told you I wasn't going to have you do this, but I'm making you do it now, so I'm sorry. So don't they look so nice? Clap. I'll just have to see your cup stand right here. So tell me your name and your major.
So I'm Grant Clift, accounting and finance major.
Okay, so here with Grant's look, I think this is something that we can call a business casual look. He has on the nice button-down shirt. This slacks fit well. This is what I want you to pay attention to, where his pants are hitting, which is right before they hit, you know, the bottom of his shoe, which is a wonderful, the break in his pants is excellent. And that's really what you should shoot for when you're getting your pants either tailored or when you're shopping for pants in the store. His belt matches his shoes. He looks very well put together. His glasses are nice. He has a haircut. Grant looks great. And I think once you get the job, this is an excellent look to wear to the office. Thank you. Tell me your name, sweetheart, and what's your major?
Taylor, and my major is civil engineering.
Okay, so Taylor has on the ballet flats that I mentioned earlier, along with the well-fitted pair of khaki pants, a nice accent blazer in blue, and then we have the white collared shirt that we talked about as one of the key wardrobe essentials. And I think this is a great look for the office. It's still polished and well put together, but it's not overbearing, it's not too much, so I think this is a great business casual look, especially for, you know, the engineering environment where you may be, you know, on the go, you may be at different sites, so I think that this is a great look for what's to come in her career. So thank you so much, I love it. So tell me your name and what's your major?
I'm Taylor and I'm a chemical engineering major.
Okay, wonderful. So I just love Taylor's skirt. I think it is so cute. And she really pulled it together well with this jacket with the nice white blouse. The jewelry is minimal. Her hair looks great. And then she has a great black pump on. So she has on quite a few of the wardrobe essentials that were mentioned on the list. The blazer, the heels, the minimal jewelry, so I think she looks really great. I almost think she could wear this to the career fair because it's very well put together and it shows a little bit of her personality, stepping outside of the very formal black blazer, black skirt. She mixes it up with the horizontal stripe. It fits her well. So I really think this is something that she could wear to the career fair and actually to the interview. I think she looks great. Thank you. Hi, how are you?
Good.
What's your name?
Devin.
Devin?
I'm a biology major.
Biology major. So I think Devin looks great. He is really wearing this gray suit, isn't he? So this is one of the key essentials that was talked about for the men, which is investing in the gray suit outside of the navy or the black. And not that there's anything wrong with the navy or black, but this is something that you can do a lot more with outside of just wearing it together. Devin could wear just the blazer and the tie with a nice pair of dark denim and the shoes, or he could wear these slacks with a different button up and a different tie. So he could get a lot of wear out of these two separate pieces. And I think also his shoe choice is excellent. It's not the full-fledged box toe, but it's not the super pointy narrow toe either. It's a mix of both, and I think it looks really well. His shoes are polished well, and he looks great. And I think this is a great look for the career fair and for the interview as well. So great job. Hi, how are you? What's your name?
Morgan,
And what's your major?
marketing finance.
Marketing finance. I just love her outfit. It's so cute. So she actually has on the peep toe, which you asked about earlier. Of course, her toes look great. She has on beautiful blue nail polish. And I love the cardigan with the accent piece and the pants and the shirt. Now, one thing I will say, she is a marketing major, and I think it's important to show your personality when it comes to specific majors, maybe like graphic design, marketing, entrepreneurship, I can't think of all the other ones. But I think it's great to show your personality through your look, and I think she's doing that, even though she's still very polished and well put together. And all of the pieces that she has on, she can do different stuff with. So they're great investment pieces that she can dress up or down, and I think she looks excellent. So thank you. And what's your name and what's your major?
I'm Cameron Rowe. My major is political science.
Political science. Okay, so I think that this is a nice kind of casual look for the business professional that I love, like the plaid print of the shirt, the khaki pants, which is one of the key pieces that was talked about on the gentleman's list. And then also I love the suede shoes that he has on that are, you know, the narrow toe. So I think that this is a really great look that he could, you know, wear on a casual Friday or something along those lines, even though I probably would want him to like tuck in the shirt and have on a belt. But other than that, I think it's a really great look and I love it. So let's give all of our models a round of applause. They all look really, really great. Thank you so much. So does anybody have a question about the looks or pulling together a wardrobe capsule or anything along those lines? Yes. I think for an info session, I would definitely wear Morgan. Morgan's outfit is great for an info session. Taylor, both y'all are Taylor. Yeah. Okay, or Taylor number one. So Taylor number one, I think those are good looks for an information session. You don't want to come on too strong at the information session. It's a kind of a more casual setting where you can learn more about the organization, and I think those are two very appropriate looks along with, yeah, his look as well, yeah. I think these four over here could wear this to an information session. Now, as far as dinner with a business, Taylor number two, and yes, I think these are looks that you should consider if you're going to dinner with an organization and they'll be, you know, of course, paying for you and trying to learn more about you. I think this is more appropriate. So definitely consider that and consider the situation that you'll be in with the employer. Thank you, you guys. Did anybody else have any questions? No. So, before the interview, I think it's important, and this is kind of just transitioning into preparing for, you know, going to the fair or going into the interview. You definitely should, of course, learn as much as you possibly can about the organization. And I think that can play a lot into what you choose to wear. Even though I think first impressions are very important and you should kind of, there's a cookie cutter approach for that. When it comes to finding out about the organization and what that culture is like, I think you can switch things up a little bit and figure out what is the best look according to what the culture is like. Also, practice your interviewing skills with someone. Of course, we have mock interview day that you guys can sign up for. So that's an excellent way to get in front of employers who actually recruit on campus and practice. And it's a great way for you to practice your interviewing skills and get great feedback and constructive criticism. Also, have your resume prepared and copied. I don't know how many of you have gone up to the 3rd floor here in the Student Union to visit our office, but you can get resume paper, you can get thank you notes, and you can also get any additional things that you need to be prepared for the career fair or your interview. And I'm talking like nice leather portfolios with the Oklahoma State logo on them. So it's really a great way to have a full, complete look going into recruiting season. Also, try on your interview outfit to be sure that it fits and that everything is clean and ready to go. There's nothing more discouraging than like thinking, oh, okay, this is what I'm going to wear to the fair, and then you try it on and it's too tight, or you know, one of the hems has fallen out, or a button is missing. So make sure that you have your complete look ready to go prior to the fair. Even a few weeks prior to the fair, you should be looking at your outfit now and have that ready to go, because you may have to take it to the tailor or you may need to buy a different piece. So start looking into that right now. And then take it to the cleaners if you need it. It's just a few dollars and it makes all the difference. And then also during the interview, remember to speak clearly and ask questions. Be confident about who you are and what you have to bring to the table. Also, use a firm handshake and when you enter the interview and when you're exiting. I wasn't at an information session for Hilti, but I kind of overheard some of the pointers that they were sharing with the students. And be careful of how firmly you're shaking. One of the young ladies said, you know, I had a student shake my hand too hard, and it threw me off where I wasn't really paying attention to anything else that he was saying after the handshake. So make sure it's firm, but it's not too overbearing. And then also, I think this is something that most of you, if not all of you, should know, and that's to send a thank you after the interview. And when, I'm going to refer back to Hilti, when they talked about that, they said usually students will send an email thank you pretty quickly after they've had that initial interaction, and then they'll follow it up with a written thank you, which they really, really love because it's so rare these days. So for you to step outside of yourself and send a written thank you note to an employer, it really does go a long way. And then just be, like I said, aware of your hands. If you have kind of sweaty palms, like remember to maybe wipe your hand prior to handshaking. If you get nervous and you kind of sweat a lot, make sure that you keep a handkerchief in your pocket or something to dab your forehead. Always keep, you know, mints or gum. I would steer more towards mints because at least that's something that you could slip under your tongue and you won't kind of lose track of yourself and be smacking on your gum. Sometimes you can chew your gum where it's to the point where it's distracting. So just a small mint here and there to make sure that your breath is fresh. And then Gallagher-Iba can get really hot. So if you've been making your rounds and you're feeling a little hot or flustered, just stop in the restroom and do like a hygiene check and make sure that everything's in place, because like I said, there could be one thing that's out of place that's typically in place, and that'll be the one thing that the employer hones in on, and who wants that to happen? So just make sure that you're on top of things, that you have a mirror, you have your, whatever you need to make sure that everything is in place.